Hello everyone, welcome to the Weeb initiative. I'm your host, the Weeb. This is the show where every other week I'll be talking about anime, manga, and everything in between. This week I'll be talking about an anime that, for the most part, really defined what I like in anime, mostly, for quite a while. It is Ryuusei Sentai Musumet, or in English apparently it was titled Starlit Squad Musumet, something like that. So before I even start, I have a few disclaimers, alright? This is the most disclaimers I think I ever done to this point. First one is that, first off, spoiler alert, I'll be talking about most of the story, although it is pretty simple story. It does not have any twists or turns or anything else. Second disclaimer is a technical one. Due to something that happened, I don't know, in the mid 2010s, something like that, all records in English of the show outside of my anime list of this show have been erased. From what I gather, I think there were records, and for the most part, I could not find any source in English in, let's say, the US or Europe area in English that I could research from. So, and most of the remaining records about it are either in Portuguese and Spanish. And for what I can gather, the anime never really aired in the US. And mostly the only places it aired were the Latin America countries, which had Animax, and some parts of Europe, from what I could find. Just so, already starting with the stats, as I tell you about this weird research cycle for this anime. The anime was first aired in October 2004 and ended in December 2004. The anime has 13 episodes. From what I can find in the internet, the license to air in Latin America was acquired by Animax in 2006, and I remember watching it way back when, every Thursday night, I think. Oh boy, that anime for that time was something else, let me tell you. The studio responsible for it was TNK. From their listing in my anime list, they are known for, right, High School DxD, the first 3 seasons, the OVAs and the specials, School Days, and this one is a doozy, Redo the Healer. So the guys got a taste for that ecchi sauce, just living out there. So before I let's just start with the story, right? The stats are pretty scattered around. This research really, I tried a lot to find it, because it is, I hold in my heart that this is a really good anime, although after rewatching it, oh boy, it's so bad. And this is also a good disclaimer. I had to watch it in Spanish. You can find actually some of, if not all, the episodes in Spanish and Portuguese in YouTube. The quality is pretty potato quality. Some of the episodes are recorded with the from a TV. You can clearly hear the echo of the room and so on and so forth. But the thing is, right, I don't know what the heck, I cannot find it the anime either in English or in Japanese, either dubbed, either subbed or raw. So if anything was lost between the translation, the script writing, or some kind of censorship, something I can't attest to, I can only say what I can see, right? I watched it all, and that is the only thing I got. There's no manga related to the series from everything I got. This is an OVA made by the studio, and although it is from a time period that we already have some really good records from, the end all be all of the whole thing is that it is really a mystery on the in-betweens of production and why it exists, or not who made this, but what the heck is this anime anyways. So let's start with the story. The story is pretty simple. For the most part, it's a satire of the mahou shoujo genre. So, for example, right, back in 2004, we still felt the ripples of the success of like Sailor Moon for the most part, and at this time, a whole lot of, I would not say derivatives, but things inspired from Sailor Moon were coming out. So Sakura Card Captors, some may remember Toko Mew Mew, and for the most part, Musumet kinda was born from that, although it is loaded to a really, really high extent with ecchi references and your standard cliches and so on and so forth. So what can I say about, how can I explain that? The thing is, right, the first episode, they already tried to really show it off with the, let's say the girls eventually just save some guys, and they really emphasize bloomers, school swimsuits, and painty shots. So and from that point on, you know what you're getting into. It's a mahou shoujo, but satire. All the episodes are really loaded. Most of the interaction between the main cast is basically trash talk and really comedy loaded. Although, let's say towards the end of it, it kind of starts to want to get a bit emotional. They try to get somewhat deep into the deep lore of the world building they had somewhat developed, but in the end, it's just mahou shoujo comedy, something in the middle. We have three sisters, Aoi, Midori, and Kurenai Mishida, and they are the main girls, let's say. And then we have the rivals that we eventually get introduced to, the Saotomi sisters, Marcia, Ko, and Shion. They never really explain if the Saotomi sisters are really blood-related sisters, because they do not sound like it, they do not feel like it. It is really strange how they put it, because apparently Marcia is from Brazil, Ko is from China, and Shion is from the United States, so it's never really explained. But they serve mostly as these single lane adversaries, antagonists, rivals for the Mishina girls. And that's basically it for the main cast. Kurenai is really the main girl, Shion is the main rival. The other four sisters are really just kind of main supporting cast, although the Mishina side eventually gets more of the spotlight. Either way, because they are really the main cast of the anime. So with the main cast on, we can get to the kind of a plot. So for whatever reason, the Mishina let's say, the Machina parents, right? They were some kind of astronaut researchers, something like NASA, I don't know. And they discovered this kind of meteorite crystals kind of things that influence humans and have some kind of superpower. And while researching, they pass away. This becomes clear later in the story, but that's the base setup for the present. Eventually, the Mishina girls they go under the wing of one of the parents' lab partner, research partner, something like that, Kishina Hiroshi, and he is part of this whole kind of a NASA thing they have. That is this astronomic research kind of deal, and for one reason or another, they lose some of the crystals they were researching, and put the girls in charge of recovering the crystals. They develop this kind of let's say the superpower equivalent of the show, these kind of helmets that focus the power of the crystal, so the girls become super strong, super fast, and whatever. And that's the basic sitch of the whole thing. So as a standard Mahou Shoujo anime, the gist of any episode is some girl gets involved with some random, let's say, NPC, and the NPC finds the crystal, gets influenced by it, turns into a big monster. The girls eventually defeat it, and good vibes, everyone happy, going home after the whole conflict. That goes from the first to the 6th episode. So the first 3 episodes, each one has focus on one of the girls, and this is the part where the dub kind of don't show the whole picture from my perspective, because although you can see they try to develop the characters of each of the girls, they never really feel different. They sound different, and the way of the things they say, the things they do, kind of feels different. But it is so homogeneous in a way. It's so, everything goes so to the same end that it never really tells me that they are 3 different characters. I don't know how to explain it audibly without showing it, but although they are 3 different characters, it feels like they are the same character with different voice actors. That's what I want to say. So from the 4th episode forward, we get some kind of, they try to start to twist a bit the formula, because eventually one of the guys from the NASA kind of team, the research team, eventually gets influenced by one of the crystals they recover, and turns against them basically, and tries to influence the Saotome girls into becoming Musumet with the crystals they recovered that were not the first ones they already had. So for example, the Mishima sisters had the red, green, and blue crystals, and then the Saotome girls eventually get the cyan, turquoise, and yellow. If you understand of the color theory, one is the RGB spectrum and the other one was the YCM. I don't know why they did it, but they did it like this. And they kind of really just punch it out because Midori is green, always blue, and whatever. So, getting to the point, right? Eventually, from the 7th episode towards the 9th, 10th, they really try to focus on the Saotome girls as in a way to humanize them, because 6 episodes ago we had them as these single-minded rivals, antagonists. In some cases they caused the problem that kind of summoned the monster indirectly, and towards the end they try to humanize them and turn them into lovable characters, because towards the end they eventually make over, like they kind of go past their differences, their rivalries, and fight the real bad guy in the end of the story. This is more or less this whole stitch of the anime, really. The thing is, for the most part, Kurenai and Shion are really the main characters. So Shion is the main antagonist, and Kurenai is for the most part your main girl. I love Kurenai to death, even though I never heard the original dub for it. I love Kurenai to death. I don't know. I just love her design, the whole thing. And I'm getting sidetracked already. God damn. This is about the story, right? So the story is pretty simple. The anime in itself is pretty simple. It is just a quick ride. Don't think too much. Just watch it. I have to say that some of the jokes are really not well thought out, but are really good for their time. There are some jokes that we cannot do it anymore. It's really good as a piece of history of anime. It's really good to watch it and laugh it out, because some of those things we don't see anymore. Some of the absurd humor is mostly lost nowadays from what I see in anime in general. And for what's worth, the anime is not strictly bad, but it's not good also. It is the passable 5 in most regards, from animation to music to plot. Is the barely passable 5. The whole thing really does not make sense. Some parts really just get my head. I was scratching my head like, God, what's happening here? Because some of the episodes they try to get it with the plot, they don't actually get into the plot. They kind of do this, let's say, third party, like they get some NPCs to do a recap episode, something like that, and it's really mind-boggling to me. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do something like that? It's not really feasible. I cannot understand why would someone do that. And I mean, that's about it. That's about at the very least the story. My opinion, I already said. I love the anime to death. I hold it in my heart. I watched it when it aired, dubbed, but anyways. And for the most part, it is a really bad mahou shoujo, but it is, and this is the point of view I have nowadays after rewatching it, is that it is the mark of the birth of what would become your standard ecchi anime in the 2010s. Because boy, oh boy, does it have some nice stuff there. Oh my god. You got the girls with different clothes every time, so you don't have the oh boy, I hate this thing in anime nowadays. It's just always the same clothes. Oh boy, how I hate that. They have these, they take the care to at the very least change the outfit, you know. It is really, let's say, ecchi loaded. It's really loaded. They talk a lot of shit. It's so much trash talk between the sisters in their own families and between their rivals. They talk a lot of it's just trash talk for the most part. I find it funny. I really do. It is revigorating to see something different from what we see nowadays. Most of the things are so edgy now that, goddamn, man, just chill out, you know. Even in ecchi action anime, something like that, they are so edgy. I like that at the very least Musumet is honest and it is just straight up bad, and it knows it. It knows that it itself is bad. It's good like that. There are some minor jokes injected in some parts that break the fourth wall that I find really funny. The whole thing is really a mess, but it has charm in itself. It has charisma, let's say. And this is the big point. I'll make this the last point for the episode because I don't want to milk it anymore. I already milked enough. It's been nearly half an hour of recording, something like that, and I don't have much to say anymore. The ending, if you find the ending for Ryuusei Sentai Musumet and watch it to the end, you will see that they tried a lot to hammer it out, the edgy part of the anime. It is, let's just say, when you show 14-year-old, 12-year-old, I don't remember right now, something like that for the first time, my man, it will get to the guy. It will get to them. That's the closing statement. That's about it. So after this quick rumble about an anime forgotten to time, this heckin' mess of an animation. If you like the show, please like, please follow. If you can, share with your friends. Tell them that I talk trash for hours and hours. If you can also join the Discord. If you want to see me on YouTube, all my links are in the description anyways. If you want to see me in other platforms, I may be there. If not, just tell me. You have my email also, but join the Discord. And that's about it. If you like my show, if you like what I do, I hope you stick around. And I will see you next time. Bye.